Light.
So there are limited seating opportunities around the edge of the auditorium. There are also some chairs. We're going to ask and beg for those of you who have greater ability to stand, if possible, to allow for those who need the sitting to be able to use the seats, understanding that there are limited seats. So with that, I think we're ready to get this party started. Yes. So thank you so much for joining us here tonight in this unique gathering and fundraiser to support the Standing Together movement. My name is Eduardo Placer. I use he, him pronouns, and I am your MC for this evening. And as we get started, I want you to know just a couple things about me. Who is this person and why is he up here? So first, I am a child and grandchild of refugees. My family fled Spain because of Franco and Cuba because of Castro. Second, I'm an identical twin. My twin brother, when we played soccer together, he ran top and down the field playing all the positions. I was the only child who finished the soccer season with a rock collection named after the Von Trapp children. And third, to remain to that comment, I suffer from, or I no longer suffer, I thrive with a self-diagnosed acute condition that I call shirtunitis. So it is possible that I may erupt in song and dance. Just letting you know that that may happen. Some of you may already have that yourselves. Now you know the name of the condition. So friends, Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Kareem, Had Purim Sameach, and for those celebrating Palm Sunday, Hosanna, hey, Zana, 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 Hosanna, hey, Zana, Hosanna. Here's the show tonight. When I was asked a couple of days ago to MC this event, although honored, I was asking myself, I was curious, why would I, a queer Cuban, very, very, very last Catholic, offer to these proceedings? What would I offer? Now, I have participated in various Muslim Jewish interfaith events and conferences, and have also spent time socially and professionally in both Israel and in Palestine. And like many of you, my heart was shattered 171 days ago, and has been breaking every day since. I think of my friends and colleagues throughout Israel and Palestine, and how each of them are affected by these tragedies. It is so much to bear. The devastation and humanitarian crisis unfolding every day in Gaza, the hostages still not home, and all the families who are torn apart, or in some cases completely gone. The depth of grief, travesty, and loss is so immense. A couple of years ago, I had the privilege of visiting a school in Rwanda called Adahoto Shalom, and it was built for orphans of the genocide against the Tutsi. It was modeled after schools that were created in Israel for Holocaust orphans. And a guiding principle and value in the creation of the school is a very well-known Jewish concept, tikkun olam, or a commitment to repair the world. What they noticed as they were building the school and starting to work with the students and the community was it was impossible to do any of the work because of the deep grief and trauma. They realized quickly that before anyone can focus on the noble task of repairing their country or the world, indeed they needed to tikkun halev, repair the heart. A solid foundation cannot be built on ground that is shattered and broken. The open wounds left by profound loss, rage, and sadness has to be given space and time to heal. Now, the act of us being here tonight together, despite our discomfort and differences, is an opportunity to begin and mend our broken hearts, and to give space to the loss and grief felt by the Palestinians and Israelis across the land. By coming here, we take a step, realizing that the great work of creating lasting change, seeking justice, peace, and equality is not only external work, it is also deeply personal. In Spanish, there's a term called dar la cara, or give face to. as we find the strength to wrestle together against external forces that are obstructionists to a future built upon mutual respect and peace, may we not forget that the struggle we face outside of the world lives deeply within us as well. And may we find the grace for ourselves and each other as we deepen our connections and commitment to build a shared future. Tonight, the Standing Together movement has invited us all, literally, to stand together, which we're all doing beautifully. Thank you so much for your grace in standing today with us. And to take a moment to nourish ourselves and our hearts as the great work continues. We know that there is a bitter and harsh reality ahead of us, and we cannot shy away from it. We must dar la cara. We must give face to it. Every day, Standing Together organizes Palestinians and Jews in Israel to fight for an end to the war, to release the hostages, and create a real future that guarantees freedom, equality, and safety for everyone in the land. Yes, that was a round of applause. I think so. And Standing Together offers an alternative path, a different kind of resistance to the status quo, one based around the deep personal interest of both Jews and Palestinians in Israel-Palestine to live in equality, peace, and security. Standing Together's motto is, "Where there is struggle, there is hope," which is a theme you will hear and see throughout the night. It is in times like these that hope seems like a faraway dream, but Standing Together reminds us that despair is a privilege. And the Palestinians and Jews in Israel-Palestine, hope is a lifeline. We must hold on to hope, and we must turn that hope into action, power, and real change. Yes to that. Yeah, you're the house of yes. So that is a yes. What Standing Together shows us is that there is a mass movement of people in Israel, Jewish and Palestinian, who are ready and willing to build a more just and equitable future despite extreme conflict and strife. Standing Together fills many with the hope that we all can and will see a different reality. As a leading voice calling for ceasefire and hostage deal, the movement is leading the path forward for those who refuse to have their lives pitted against one another, and instead choose joint struggle toward a future grounded in justice, equality, and peace for all. Now, we are so privileged to be in community this evening with the leadership of the movement, Rula Daoud, Elan Lee Green, Sally Abed, and Itamar Abderi. We're also from the people of Glasgow, friends. We are people. We're also joined by the incredible clergy, Sheikh Rana and Rabbi Shimona, as well as incredible musical performers, Zalayan, along the Loose Band, the Resistance Survival Chorus, and Sound by Kim. Now, bigger applause for all these people. And a huge shout out to the House of Yes for their support in tonight's event, hosting it, especially the event managers, Rara Darling and Remy, and a big incredible applause to the Standing Together staff, the event producer Melanie Robbins, and the New York City Standing Together organizing committee, all of whom have helped make tonight happen. And a final round of applause, my friends, to all of you for showing up. Yes, you can applaud yourselves, please. For showing up, for coming together in support of a real, sustainable future for all in Israel-Palestine. By showing up tonight, you are taking the side of peace. The side that understands that the future of Israelis and Palestinians is shared and their futures are tied. You're choosing and taking the side of justice, equality, freedom, and safety for all. This is truly no small feat these days. Tonight, we are also here to help the movement grow. The Standing Together leadership will be announcing a fundraising goal for the evening, which will be matched by generous donors. And I'm looking forward to seeing how much we will be able to raise together on behalf of such an important cause. Now, to kick off the formal part of our program, I'm going to invite Sally and Itamar from Standing Together to the stage. And quickly, a little bit about them. Sally Abed is an elected national leader at Standing Together. In recent years, she has become a prominent progressive Palestinian voice in Israel. She is a recurring guest on Promise podcast and a co-host of the new podcast Groundwork, a mini-series about Palestinians and Jews refusing to accept the status quo and working together for change. I have some hot off the press news for all of you, which is just 3 weeks ago, Sally was elected to the Haifa City Council. Now, Isamar Abneri is a social and peace activist. He is a community organizer and a member of the National Leadership in Standing Together. He is also a member of the Israeli Climate Forum and a prominent voice in the LGBTQ plus community. Also, hot off the press, he was elected 3 weeks ago to the Tel Aviv Yaffa City Council, asking all the deal for the extraordinary campaign. And without further ado, I'm going to invite Sally and Isamar up there and stand together with us to the stage.
Oh, hi everyone. Wow. There's a light.
And then there's
There's a light. We follow the light. We find the light. We make the light. Hi everyone. I'm Sally Abed. Thank you so much for coming and thank you for standing and coming. Really, really thank you. All right. Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna have and we're gonna do a call to prayer for Ramadan and for Iftar. So I invite Sheikh.
Good evening and salam alaikum. So we are in the midst of Ramadan and now we're breaking fast. I was supposed to be at 6:30, but the train is crazy. Anyway, so I'm going to do the call to prayer, then we can break our fast if the program moves on. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
And Iftar Kareem, and Siyam Maqbul, everyone who's observing. It's hard not to observe that and not think of the hundreds of thousands, over a million people don't have food to even break their fast and don't have to maintain and sustain themselves. Yeah, it's important to hold that. And with that, it is important to also hold our mission and our demand and why we're here. And, standing together, we came, and it wasn't an easy decision to leave home, to leave our extremely critical work right now within our communities, within our cities, within our universities to come here and talk to you. But we are really here to demand and to shout and to really spread our message for ceasefire agreement to stop the killing and destruction in Gaza and return the hostages back home. We are here. We are here to acknowledge our biggest cause, our bigger, much more long-term cause, imperative for Palestinian freedom everywhere in the land. Given the occupation, and to receive the land justice, freedom, and equality for everyone. Are you in? Yeah, okay. You have one. And we did also come here to talk to you and to help you organize and to talk to everyone that would listen to us in the decision-making position, the elected officials here, and to help you also and let you know that we need you to organize and ask these people for these demands, ask people for a ceasefire, demand a ceasefire, demand peace and justice for all, and demand canceling the blank check policy of the American administration to the Israeli government. We just cannot avoid this blank check policy that is hurting everyone on the land, giving billions of dollars of pure tax money to lunatics, to messianic fascist lunatics within our government, to lead the massacres, to lead and deepen the oppression and hurt our own society within Israel with hundreds of thousands of pieces of arms, incitement, harassment, and persecution within our own society. And that needs to stop, and that starts with you. And I'm here to ask you to organize, to lend your hand to even the ones you don't fully agree with, to build the people's power necessary to cancel this blank check policy of the United States towards Israel. And that really needs to happen right now. Standing together organizes both Jewish and Palestinians within Israel. We do that because we understand that in order to end the occupation, in order to reach a future, to get closer to a future where we're all free and equal on our land, it needs to go through the Israeli public. It needs to go through the Israeli public because Israel is the hegemonic state. It is the controlling state. And we need to be able to build a political will within our public, within our society, to end the military control over millions of Palestinians. But we also understand that in order to do that, we cannot simply morally lecture the Israeli public. We have to organize and we have to understand how to build a people's peace movement, one that comes from self and shared interest, one that is co-led by both Palestinians and Jews, and one that understands that the imperative of Palestinian liberation, our critical demand, is dependent also on Jewish safety and is dependent on social justice and equality in all of other marginalized and recognizing the inequalities and injustices within our society that are beyond peace and ending the occupation. Because when we talk about peace, it's not simply ending the war and ending the killing. Peace is about liberty and freedom. Peace is about equality, it's about justice, and peace is about prosperity. Because we deserve to thrive and prosper and not only not die. And we need to fight
So I think that we are equal and free, but also prosperous and thrive.
And with that, I want to acknowledge the immense, unimaginable pain, loss, and bereavement that we're all facing at home. So let's take a moment of silence for everyone that lost their life, everyone that is facing and dealing with the trauma with the bereavement right now.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, for being with us this night. Those are the most hard and terrifying days of our lives. In the last 5 months and a half, the war in Gaza is raging. More than 30,000 people already died. 14,000 children already died. Why? For what? For whom? More than 100 hostages are still being kept in Gaza, waiting to go back home. In fact, millions of people are displaced in Gaza, in southern Israel, in northern Israel, waiting to go back home. 70% of the buildings in Gaza are ruined or impacted by the Israeli bombings. And now people are starving to death. Children are starving to death. Hostages are starving to death. Why? For what? For whom? And it's not only in Gaza. In the occupied West Bank, Palestinians lived through the deadliest year in 2 decades, while violent settlers and the Israeli soldiers are doing there whatever they want. And Israeli officials are telling us that they are not going to stop. This war was never about our safety. It was never about our safety. And you know, there's another war, the war over the soul of our society. The Israeli government is trying to convince us that it's us versus them, that there's no such thing as an innocent Palestinian, that the children of today are the terrorists of tomorrow, and hence we must be ruthless. They're telling us that the Palestinians who are citizens of Israel are going to pogrom us any minute now. So they're flooding our streets with guns, by the way, guns that came all the way from here, from the US, and they are trying to incite violence in the big cities. They don't care about our safety. They don't care about our life. They don't care about our problems. They care only about their messianic vision. And if it sounds scary to you, well, you're right. I'm scared to death. But although it's terrifying, and actually because it's terrifying, we are not going to stop fighting. Because we're standing together, we're not about condemning reality, we're about changing reality. And let me tell you that we are very serious in our intent to change reality in Israel and Palestine. We are going to end the war in Gaza. We are going to end this war, and we are going to win the war over the soul of our society. We are going to build a better future, the best future possible, and that is a shared future, and we need your help. We are not going to do that alone. We need you to stand with us. So please share our message, spread the word, and also donate and fundraise with us. We need your help in order to fight the Israeli government. We need your help in order to fight the Israeli far, far right. We need to fight the fascists, and we have to do it together. So thank you very, very much for being here and helping us building this shared future. Thank you very much.
I just want to, I forgot to mention this before, I've had 3 leg surgeries since November. So I'm in a leg brace and I'm moving very slowly. So if you see me moving slowly, that's what it is. I'm actually great, I'm not in pain. And I just want to say it was such a privilege to not just listen to the two of you speak, but I don't know if you noticed how they looked at each other when they were speaking. And it was so beautiful to witness the conviviality, the love, the championing of each other. It was such a gift to the whole. So thank you so much for that. In a moment, I will be inviting to the stage the Resistance Revival Chorus. Yeah! They are a collective of more than 60 women and non-binary singers who join together to breathe joy and song into the resistance and to uplift and center women's voices. We are delighted that tonight we have around 20 singers with us, and it is my pleasure to invite them to the stage. We can keep clapping, so it's not. Well, I woke up this morning with my mind set on freedom. Oh, yes, I woke up this morning with my mind set on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind set on freedom. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, walking and talking with my mind. Freedom, walking and talking with my mind. Freedom, walking and talking with my mind. Freedom, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
You can say that I'm free, but ain't no heart to mine. I'm free, ain't no heart to mine. Your mind on freedom, you better walk the morning. With your mind on freedom, oh, you better walk the morning. Oh, I'm singing singing and shouting in my mind. Say, I'm free, singing and shouting in my mind. Say, I'm free, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. There is life in the soul. There is beauty in the person. When there is beauty in the person, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is honor in the nation. When there is honor in the nation, there is peace in the world. When there is light in the soul, there is beauty in the earth. When there is beauty in the earth, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is honor in the nation. When there is honor in the nation, there is peace in the world. When there is light in the soul, there is beauty in the person. When there is beauty in the person, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is honor in the nation. When there is honor in the nation, there is peace in the Ceasefire now, ceasefire now, ceasefire now, ceasefire now, ceasefire now, ceasefire now. Lay your weapons down. 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 Fire now. Cease 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 fire now. Fire now. Cease 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 fire now.
Another round of applause for the Ladies Survival Center. My friends, I know we were a little delayed in the start of our program. What we are going to do now, because the food is ready, is in a few moments we're going to take a very brief 10-minute intermission. There will be food and vittles outside. But before I do that, I want to introduce our DJ for the night. Round of applause, please. Our team is a New York artist and producer who brings a hypnotic and spacey experience to their audience with intention. Growing up in Yafa, Tel Aviv, Did took part in the Voices of Peace, the only Jewish, Muslim, and Christian choir in the world. Through the Interfaith Peace Choir, Did made new connections, which eventually led to them pursuing and eventually accept a full scholarship at Cooper Union. And partner with Operation Respect, there's some alumni in Cooper Union, or maybe some fans in the room. Yafa, yes, Yafa. Did move to New York and now expands their art and horizons, focusing on architecture, photography, and fabrication craft. So again, we're going to take a 10-minute intermission. Please enjoy some food and beverage, and we'll begin promptly in 10 minutes with the program. Thank you.
Okay, so they're changing. Thank you.
My friends, please give a round of applause to our band, Layali. قلبي من كل هوى يعقل عن الإسلام ضريح شعلك قدام
Yeah, yeah. I know you're trying your best. Now just like kind of yeah,
A round of applause for our band. It is my pleasure and step behind the tradition in my life. We're doing great. It is my privilege to welcome to the stage now Rabbi Rachel Lauder of Congregation Baptist, where she serves as senior rabbi and has done an incredible number of social justice initiatives and actions, including but not limited to immigration justice, criminal justice, affordable housing, and leading the change of representation of the Jewish community in New York City. On any given Shabbat, you will find Rabbi Lauder speaking about the purpose of Jews as being the moral challenges of our time, the ways we need each other, and awakening to the spiritual aspects of our lives. My friends, please give our applause to Rabbi Shimon.
We'll get better as we go.
It is such an honor to be here tonight when the people of Things Together reached out and asked me to come. I said to them, you just tell me anytime, anywhere you want me, and I will be there. Last night and today, the Jewish people celebrated the holiday of Purim. And many Jews rejoice on this holiday, and that has value. For our tradition understood and understand that joy is mixed with grief. And even when we're grieving, there is a place for joy, and even when we're joyous, it's also important to be in touch with our grief. Joy is healing, especially in the midst of fear, vulnerability, and even in the midst of war. Because joy can be a motivator toward change. As we listened to the Megillah last night, the story of the hero Esther, who saved the Jewish people from elimination, we were more in touch than ever with the miracle of Jewish survival in the face of very real threat. And many people felt more motivated than ever to participate in the action of drowning out the name of the villain in that story. The Jewish sages of ancient days taught that we might think of the holiday of Purim as connected to Yom HaKippurim, the Jewish people's Day of Atonement. Unlike in the time of the Megillah, when the end of the story was just a line of fantasy, and the Jewish people back then didn't have the power to effect violence, to effect revenge, or even to defend themselves. Now our people do have power. Now our people have a government and an army with which we can defend ourselves, and with which we can do great harm. As everyone in this room knows, Israelis are deeply traumatized right now from the extreme atrocities of 57. And there are currently 2 million Palestinian people homeless, displaced, starving at the edge of famine, without sanitation, in danger of disease outbreak, terrified from bombs and tanks, while more than 130 hostages remain in tunnels or places like that. It must end now. It is past time for a bilateral ceasefire and the return of the hostages. This year, when we came to chapter 9 from Megillah, which some of you might know is the part of the story which includes violence, I asked all the people assembled to consider silencing their gargantuan whispers and hushing their voices, and instead suggested that we sit in somber silence to reflect on the human impulse for revenge, to reflect on the grave responsibility that comes with holding power, especially disproportionate power, and to reflect on the moral imperative to honor human life. And people did. Those of us who are trying to hold open the both and space in this country, who continue to insist that it is not either or, that we don't have to pick a side, that we must not pick a side, that both Israelis and Palestinians live in the land, have lived in the land, will live in the land, and deserve safety and freedom and justice and equality and self-determination. When we try to make that case in this country, what we have is to be able to point to the example of Israelis and Palestinians who do not give up on each other, even in the midst of this war. You know the courage that takes? Who do not give up on each other, who do not give up on living together, who do not give up on seeing each other's humanity, who do not give up on coexistence and shared society. Standing together, you are our hope.
Curtain in the back, on the side of the space, with a little bit of space.
If you, like me, have tried to convince others in this society to believe in that hope, and they said, well, look at the photograph. Most Israelis don't want that. Most Palestinians don't want that. That's just the fringes. That's not, that's nice, but that's not really gonna happen. People in this country are ready to give up. People in our country are still holding on and believing and fighting for it, and it's so much harder than what we're doing here. If they can do it, we can do it. something else. Sometimes people characterize the peace movement as just being kind of pie in the sky, unrealistic. What's really important about standing together is they are community organizers. Yes, they have a vision for peace, coexistence, justice, safety for all people, but it comes with a strategy, a real strategy. They know how to build power. They just won 2 elections. They know how to build power. And that is what makes them different than other peace groups, who many of them are wonderful too. But that makes them different. And that means we can say to people who are doubters here, check them out. They are for real. They are building power methodically. And that's toward a vision of shared society and coexistence and equality and justice for all. May we emerge from this holiday time finding that no violence has been done in the name of Esther or in the name of Mordecai. May we emerge to find that a miracle has occurred and the hostages are home and the humanitarian crisis has come to an end. And if it is not today, then please God, very, very soon. And may you, standing together, be strengthened and supported in your courage. And your courage to see the humanity in each other, to not give up on the army, spread throughout the land, to be the first step toward true equality, true justice, true humanism, true compassion, one day, peace.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Miller. If you find yourself moved and inspired by the mission of standing together, I want to draw attention to the QR code up there, which is an opportunity for you to donate this evening to support their ongoing work. It is my privilege now to invite to the stage Sheikh Musa Drama. He is a spiritual leader of Harchester Islamic Cultural Center and founder of Muslim Community Report newspaper. Sheikh Drama has a deep commitment to working as equals. His efforts have brought together individuals from many different religious groups in hopes to call attention to the obstacles that members of his own religious community face and to help others recognize the importance of constructive dialogue between groups. He is a leading figure for immigrant and Muslim communities in the Bronx. Please welcome to the stage again, Sheikh Musa.
Thank you so much, and good evening one more time. Welcome to New York, and welcome to Brooklyn. Let me begin by expressing my profound gratitude to be here with you all for a noble cause. I don't know you. You probably don't know me. I'm not an Israeli. I'm not an Arab. I'm not Palestinian. But I'm a human being. I'm a human being who cares deeply about what is taking place on the Holy Land. Deeply. My wife and I and other peacemakers founded a movement 8 years ago called Muslims Israel Dialogue. Muslim Israel Dialogue. 3 weeks ago, I wrote an op-ed piece which you should read. It is called A Roadmap to a Ceasefire. The reason why I wrote it was because a month after October 7th, my wife and I were in Israel. We met the victims. We walked the ruins of homes. We saw blood splattered on walls. We walked in bedrooms and living rooms, untouched. Children, adults, and seniors were murdered in their own rooms. We witnessed what took place just months prior. And the reason why we went that early, so that we will not be misled by those whose job it is to mislead the world about what is going on. And as I'm speaking to you, I have a basic understanding of what happened. And I'm using that knowledge to making sure that those who are liars will not occupy our psyche with their falsehood. Now, let me tell you why this journey is important to me. I lived in New York almost more than half of my life. New York is home to the largest Jewish community outside of the Holy Land. New York also home to the largest diverse Muslim community in the United States. New York is where fixing needs to take place. If you don't do it here, it's not going to get done. And I, as a Muslim leader, if I am not doing what I'm doing now, then I'm a hypocrite. Anybody could be your friend in easy times, but your real friends are those who are with you in your difficult moments. That's why I went to Israel. That's why I travel everywhere to tell people what happened. That's why if you read my piece about a roadmap to ceasefire, it has some components to getting there. As a Muslim, I do not want to see a single child, whether it's a Jewish child or Palestinian child, being murdered. That is inhumane, unjust, immoral, unethical, and it should never ever be normalized under any circumstances. However, I, as a Muslim leader, also must understand the reality on the ground. I am a part of an organization called the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, which happens to have 57 member nations. Some of these nations happen to be some of the luckiest nations with natural resources, abundance of natural resources. Out of these 57 nations, you have 22 Arab League nations in it. Arabic language, Arabic heritage, Arabic culture, Arabic pride, Islamic religion. 22. And I would say you will hardly find Jewish families in them nowadays. 57 nations, the second largest intergovernmental organization after the United Nations. Among them, 22 Arab nations with independence and pride and everything. And then all of a sudden, now we are fighting. And we're going to convince the world that a tiny piece of land that our own book says to the Jewish people, enter it, because Allah assigned the land to you. Our own book, chapter 5, verses 20-21. Moses said to people, enter the holy land which Allah has assigned to you. But don't be crazy. If you're crazy, we'll get you out. I add that. But it's not just like that. So I said, as a Muslim New Yorker, people need to know that 57 nations, 22 Arab nations should not deny the existence of Israel. They should never ever deny the existence of a single Jewish nation. That's why I said the ceasefire is based on, number one, you must release the hostages unarmed, unconditional, nothing about it. But release them to go back to their families because you do not own them, you should not kill them. Number two, the Muslim world must the Muslim world must recognize that October 7 happened. And we should not attach it to anything else. October 7 happened, and over 1,000 people died. And these 1,000 people or 1,200 or 1,400 were loved. They were fathers and mothers and brothers and sons and uncles and husbands and wives. And we must recognize that. And number three, we must also send our joint condolences to the victims. And last but not least, the Muslim world must divorce the radical, violent, hateful groups within the Muslim world. These are the conditions that we have to fight. Thank you so much. God bless you, and may God bless the Holy Land, and let peace prevail both for Israel and for Palestine. Thank you, and thank you, standing together.
Thank you, Sheikh. So now our band is going to play a couple more songs, and it's my pleasure to introduce the members of the band. So Layali El Andalus brings to life a diverse repertoire of music, including songs from Andalusia, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Yemen, and the Middle East. Founded by Moroccan-born musician Rashid Hanhal, the group has performed in music festivals and concerts throughout the world. Tonight we welcome Rashid and Nabil Bakali, Daphna Moore, Zafir Tawil, Daniel Friedman, and David Lisney. A round of applause again for Layali and Andalus.
Okay, all ready for that? Ready?
Thank you. It's a pleasure and a big honor to be here today. Our voice is the voice of art and the voice of music, and we've been making music together for many, many years. Yes, this is our way to show love and coexistence. We have Moroccan, Palestinian, Jewish American, and Jewish Israeli musicians on stage.
I've never seen the Tunisian song.
You got it?
That will be around. Yeah, the people know that was the line have the info. And because the one in one country, it has expressed it. Statement on this. And you know,
Nice. Like, there's there are two months that are like getting back in like in and out. The shit out of them. I'm gonna feel that. I literally mad at them. There's something about the market. Yep.
While they're tuning a round of applause. इधर हिस्से भाव Thank you so much again to the extraordinary band. My friends, we are nearing the end of our program. It is my privilege now to invite to the stage the co-directors of the movement, Rula Dawood and Alon Lee Green. Rula is the national co-director standing together and is a speech pathologist by profession. She's a Palestinian citizen of Israel, born and raised in the Galilee village of Kufr Yassid, and began her activism in her home city and later became involved in promoting Jewish-Arab partnership in mixed Jewish-Arab cities. Before joining Standing Together, Rula worked as a community organizer, organizing events, activists. Alon Lee Green is the national co-director and a founder of Standing Together. He got to start organizing Israel's first trade union of waiters in chain of coffee shops and went on to found Israel's first national waiters union. Alon Lee emerged as a prominent leader of Israel's social protest movement in the summer of 2011 and subsequently served as a political advisor in the Knesset, Israel's parliament. It has been an absolute pleasure to serve as your MC this evening. I will now entertain
And the rest of the program will be with Willa and Rocky.
Hi, good evening. I must say I'm a bit overwhelmed, 3 days here and having all of you, and not really seeing you because of the lighting, but it's okay, keep it this way. Uh, Before I start, I would like to again, we are at a fundraising, and it's important for us that we can go back home with, you know, your encouragement and money, yes. So I would like to say again to all of you that you can see here the barcode, so you can use just your phone, and you have got, all of you have got emails to where you can really fund us as a grassroots movement of Jews and Palestinians living in Israel and working daily for the past 9 future in Israel, Palestine. So please do. That is why you are here. And having said that, I would like to also say, as a Palestinian woman, as somebody who wakes up every day to fight for freedom, for liberty, I think being here and also inviting the local leaders to come and stand on our stage, it does not really give the liberty for believing in any kind of beliefs, any kind of religion beliefs that would see the liberty and freedom of one part or one group more important than the other group. As a grassroots movement that believes that we are born equal and we should be equal, we understand deeply that all of us back home have the right for freedom, equality, liberty, and independence, no matter who you are or where you are. The 7th of October, now we are 5, 6 months after. As torturous things have been happening, people are dying daily. We are having starvation in Gaza. We are seeing people dying on a daily basis, and it affects each one of us in a deep way that we can't even imagine or to know how to speak or what kind of words we can really use to talk about what we are seeing for the past 5 months back home. But what we know as a movement that fights each and every day to have a better future, that we have tools, we have instruments, we have people, and we have the power to build a different future. And that power lies with the people. And that is what we do in standing together. This is a different day. We've had many wars between in our region, many wars. But the 7th of October was a different day, and all of us understood that. We understood, no matter on which side we were, that the status quo couldn't be maintained anymore, and that we need change. We need solutions. We need a political view that sees people who live in Israel and Palestine as equal and understand that all of us deserve safety, liberty, and independence. And since the 7th of October, everything we have done as a society back home in Israel is to work in order to change the policies that we have by our government. A government that didn't just went on bombing Gaza, but also had incitement and violence against its own citizens, the Palestinian citizens. So what we did as a movement that has activists, both Jews and Arabs, is what we told people. We stepped on and we said, we do not agree to these politics, and we will not sit aside while we see our government ruin everything that we have and we have been working for so long and so hard. So since the 7th of October, we have conventions. We have conventions in different cities all over the country. Conventions that we invited both Jews and Palestinians to be part of. And despite the hatred, the fear, and the trauma that we had in our society, people came. A week after the 7th of October, thousands of people were in our conventions in different places. And they talked about the trauma, the collective trauma. They talked about the pain. but we also talk about us deserving a better future, better politics, different leaders on board lead us to a better place. We have conventions. All we have conventions. We have rallies. We went on to different cities, both Jewish cities and Palestinian cities in Saudi Israel, mixed cities. And we had rallies and we called out the people to come and ask for a ceasefire agreement right now and to start talking about peace, real peace, peace between Israelis and Palestinians, a peace that we all deserve after so many years of wars. But not just that, we also had what we call, I'm sorry, my third language. But we also had our activists stood on and we had security guards. We had different activities in different places. For the past 5 months, we were able to grow. Many people look at us and say, how can you keep on doing what you are doing? Many people went to the right in Israel. Many people became more extreme, and that is true. It happens across the world. But in standing together, my movement, our movement grew. We have more people in our movement, and that is because we believe that we need to work, to organize people, to build a political will inside of our society to have a different future, a one that can give both of us independence, peace, equality, and real liberation. And we are here tonight to ask you again to donate to us, to help us build a bigger political movement inside of Israel that can assure that all of us can have a future, a shared future, because we understand there is only one truth. That is our truth. But there's a land which we call home, both of us. There is one truth. We have 7 million Palestinians and we have 7 million Jews. None of us are going anywhere, and we need to understand how to work in order to get a solution, a political solution, that both of us can have dignity, liberty, equality, and freedom. So again, you can look to your right and you can see Indor Assad help us to build that alternative. Not
Hi everyone. I got the task to be the last one that speaks. Before I get to my role, the responsibility I took upon myself to talk with you about money, I want to say something more personal. Since October 7th, it feels as if we're free falling. Whenever we feel or think we hit the rock bottom, we figure and understand that it's actually not it. There's more to fall. There's nothing to hold on. There's no promises coming from people that we can trust. There aren't any people we can trust that tell us it's going to be okay. It's going to be different. Something is going to work out. And we'll continue to fall, and the horror gets stronger. And we see videos and images that keeps us awake at night. And we're afraid. We're afraid for the Palestinian people living in Gaza, enduring so much pain and so much grief and sorrow, and we don't know how is a society going to move forward after this kind of trauma, after losing 30,000 people, 14,000 children, after 70% of all the homes that are being destroyed or impacted, after having mass starvation, after seeing that, every person almost is displaced. How can you move forward from that? How can you move forward as a society back in Israel? With the trauma of the attack of October 7th, the massacre of Hamas? How do you move on when your government doesn't care about the hostages? When they do nothing to save them, when they understand deeply there is a conflict between bringing back the hostages and waging the war on Gaza. And we're afraid. We are afraid. And this is also part of the reasons we're here. And maybe for this part, I want to call also Sally and Itamar. You can come to the stage. We're here in the US to gather support. To gather support for our fight for a ceasefire agreement now that will stop the killing and destruction in Gaza, and it will bring back home all the hostages alive. And we're here to gather support for our call from the US administration not to give this blank check policy to the Israeli government that not only is bad and destructive and is murderous for the Palestinian people in Gaza and in the West Bank, but is also bad for the safety of the Jewish people in Israel. And we are here. So all four of us, and thousands of members, and tens of thousands of activists around us, back in Israel and Palestine, so we will be able to come back and have the ability to put up a fight. And you know what? I'm going to say something, I think it's funny. I don't know, tell me if you think it's funny. I'm a socialist. Yes, I am. But I'm going to talk with you about competition. In favor of competition. The Israeli political system lacks competition. There's only one option in the menu. We've been told for so long that if we want to have safety as Jewish people, we need to oppress, we need to control, we need to occupy, we need to keep millions of people under our military control because this is the only possible way. And when there's no option, other options in the menu, when there's no competition, people cannot choose. There's one obvious choice. There's one common sense. And people think that we are the nonsense. But our role, our mission, is to create competition in the Israeli society, to create competition in the Israeli political system, to put another option in the menu. And for that, we need your support. We really do need your support. We are in a fundraiser tonight. Every donation you will give to us will go a long way. Standing Together is funded mainly on crowdsourcing donations. 60% of our budget comes from regular monthly donations or one-time donations. People, most of them are in Israel, but the numbers in the US are growing of support. And we are growing because of that. Every donation, this is something you should know, every donation you're gonna make tonight is gonna be matched by a very, very generous donor that agreed to do that. And you can see a barcode here. Please look, it's over there. And you can take your phones out. Also, every person that entered the door got an email, high-tech. And you can press the link on the email to make a donation. We have a goal tonight of $50,000. $50,000 that will allow us to fight. And I just want to give a small example. Since October 7th, the right wing, the messianic, extreme, crazy, genocidal right wing in Israel, then they openly say it. I don't need to give them a title because some of them say that all the children in Gaza are terrorists. They say that the children today are the terrorists of tomorrow. And the ones that we didn't kill in the war of 2014 are the ones that committed the massacre of 2023. And they say it openly. They say openly to drop a nuclear bomb on Gaza. And they started to capitalize on the trauma of fear, the real trauma of fear that we acknowledge. They wasted no time. On October 7th already. They have billboards in Israel. At the beginning, it was billboards comparing the President Abbas, Mahmoud Abbas of the PA, to Hamas, saying all Palestinians are Hamas. A very dangerous thing to do. And now they have billboards saying three words. They're words of the right wing right now. Their plan. Occupy, expel, resettle. And it's on billboards and advertisements all across Israel. You see it all the time. And people here, they fight for the attention of the public on what should be done. We need to have the ability to fight over the attention of the people. We need our billboards as well. One billboard is 20,000 shekels in Israel for 7 days. We need to be able to compete. This is why we're here. We're asking you, please, and we learned how to do it in a bit blunt way. It's not something obvious for us, but please, donate, help us, support us, allow us to come back to Israel and to win. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
These are harrowing times of destruction and war. We are witnessing a massive humanitarian crisis in Gaza, destruction of civil life, Israeli hostages still in captivity, families being torn apart, millions displaced from their homes, and an entire region in turmoil and despair.
And what is our political leadership offering us? More of the same, more bloodshed, and a war with no end in sight. Peace appears to be a distant and fleeting dream for so many in Israel-Palestine. But amidst the chaos,
And standing together, we are working tirelessly to change this helpless and hopeless reality, proving that within this despair there is hope, resilience, and a commitment to continue fighting together towards a better future.
we've opened new local chapters to strengthen the solidarity between Jews and Palestinians in Israel.
We've opened a hotline to provide support to those affected by the war, racism, and incitement.
We've organized mass rallies, mobilizing thousands to the streets to demand a ceasefire agreement to stop the killing and destruction in Gaza and to bring the hostages back home safely.
We have opened new student chapters fighting on campuses for peace and against inequality. We have reached millions of people online through social media, presenting the public with an alternative path forward.
In these terrible, terrible times, the demand for a different way is growing. Standing Together already has over 5,000 members in Israel, and over 2,000 friends of Standing Together supporting us from abroad. We have 12 local chapters in cities and towns, and 11 student chapters on university and college campuses.
We stand together with one voice,
A voice that cries out for an end to the occupation.
a voice that demands equality, freedom, and independence for all who live here, and a voice that refuses to be silent until the promise of peace becomes not a distant dream, but a reality we can all share.
Let us be the generation that chooses to build bridges over the rubble of destruction.
Let this be the time we look back at and say, it was then when the world came together and we started forging a path toward lasting peace.
Only through our joint efforts can we bring about these significant societal shifts that are so long overdue.
Together, we will strive to heal the wounds of the past and work relentlessly toward a future of peace, dignity, and justice.
Join us in the fight towards a better tomorrow.
Let peace prevail and let it start with us.